some exploration of Playa del Carmen. Some beautiful animals here, looking very, very sad. They need tacos. You know, they say here, I don't know how to say it in Spanish actually, but they say, dog doesn't eat dog. And that's how you know that a taco place is good. If you see dogs around, that means that the taco place is good, that they're not actually serving like claws dogs in a taco. That's how it's known. So yeah, that's my lesson so far here in Mexico on food quality. Yeah, look around, this looks pretty cool. It's a nice area of the city. I haven't been here before actually. Looks pretty nice. So, in today's video, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk a bit about self-sabotaging your goals, self-sabotaging your health and fitness goals, your habits, because I think that's really relevant to a lot of questions that I've been getting, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of people kind of already know what they need to do, but it's more like dealing with all these psychological issues that are related to being successful and sticking to healthy habits, executing them on a day-to-day basis, and really being more consistent. I think that's one of the biggest things. You know, we know like the best diet is the one you can stick to. So let's talk a bit about self-sabotage, because we all sabotage ourselves one way or the other. And that's a really cool topic that I think doesn't get the attention that it deserves when it comes to general health and fitness. So yeah, we're gonna get into that a little bit. Hey guys, it's Mario here, coming at you from the beach. We found a great spot to film this video, and the topic of it is going to be self-sabotage. And the reason why I decided to talk a bit about self-sabotage is because it is that one thing that is often limiting our results, and often we're not even aware of it. And that's one thing with self-sabotage that I think it doesn't get that much attention in the whole fitness world, is because it's not very concrete. You know, it's really hard to prove that it's happening. It's really hard to kind of find a reason for why it's happening. But a lot of us know that we have these limiting beliefs, and this is not just when it comes to fitness, this is when it comes to any area of our lives. We have these limiting beliefs, and we're kind of giving ourselves random justifications for not doing things that we know that we need to do. And one great experiment that actually proves this point, that our brains will literally believe anything we tell our brains as a reason, is a great experiment from 1978 by Ellen Langer, where they basically asked people, they took 120 adults, and it's a really cool experiment, basically related to a copy machine, and can people go make copies on the machine and pass by a group on a busy day? And when it came time to ask for that, there were three conditions, and one group said basically, hey, can I go by and make some copies? And people said, well, yeah, sure. I mean, about 60% of chance, you know, people would comply and say yes. But when people said, can I go by and make some copies because I need to make copies? People gave them 90+% of compliance. Basically, they would believe any kind of reason, and they get the same amount of compliance, 90+%, when they gave a legit reason, like, hey, I'm in a rush, you know, I need to make some copies because I'm in a rush. And people would literally believe to the same extent because we believe anything we tell ourselves. We're so irrational, and that's same with self-sabotage, that oftentimes when we talk to people and we just ask, well, why didn't you you ask yourself, hey, I didn't get sleep last night, and you ask yourself why, you say, well, I had to go watch this TV show, you know, this TV show was on. Is that really a legit reason? I mean, is that TV show as important as getting your quality sleep, which will improve your focus, make sure to get your healthy habits, get more performance in the gym, like be less hungry and do all these great things? Is that really a legit reason, or is that some just justification that you're telling yourself? Or when you talk to people and they say, well, I didn't get my protein because the meal in the restaurant didn't have enough protein. As if you couldn't have ordered something else. You know, we often miss these little tiny ways we self-sabotage ourselves, and we give ourselves reasons, and because we're justifying this, it doesn't allow us to rewrite this script when it comes to these small things. And in this experiment, actually, the justification worked when it was about 5 copies. When the researchers asked for 20 copies, so a lot more than the person in front of them, the person in front of them actually gave it a little bit more thought, and they didn't believe that they can go by. So they didn't get that much compliance, only about 40%, even with a legit reason. So there seems to be a threshold after which we consider something to be a more very important decision, and we're going to actually be thoughtful, and we're going to consider all the variables, and then we're going to make the decision. So that's kind of how our minds work, is that there's a threshold of seriousness, which often, I mean, when it comes to health habits, we often forget that these small, tiny little things are what compounds to that success that you're looking for, to that goal that you're trying to reach. And with small things, this is what really breaks you or makes you. These small little tiny habits that compound day in, day out. And that's exactly where we self-sabotage ourselves, with these small things where we can find a little bit of a justification for not doing them. And in the end, we don't get the success we're looking for. And that's something that we really need to keep more attention on. And I mean, what are some of the things that you can do right now to make sure that this doesn't happen? Well, number one, you can be more mindful about it. You can see all the reasons where this self-justification is happening. So all the reasons where you are self-sabotaging yourself. You can look throughout your day and see, okay, if I didn't do this, what was the reason for it? Was it a legit reason, or was it just something that I gave myself to kind of rationalize the fact that I didn't do it? And the second thing, you can kind of create rules for yourself. And this is something I got from James Clear, who runs a really cool blog, and he's a really awesome guy to follow when it comes to habits and behavior change. When he talks about this, he says that he has a rule of he's not gonna make the same mistake twice. So he's gonna, let's say if he just goes out and just eats some random crappy food, he's not gonna do it twice. You know, he's gonna make sure to follow up that with a healthy meal, with some vegetables, with some fruits, with some protein. He's gonna make sure to not make the mistake twice, which is a really cool rule to have. You know, if you're looking at these behaviors that we have, it's something like kind of like a fail safe, you know, just to make sure that you don't add more momentum to that behavior that doesn't lead to success. Because oftentimes, I mean, just having that one instance where the behavior didn't happen, it's not a big deal. But when you create a chain event out of it, when that gets more momentum, when you keep falling off and you just aren't aware of that and you don't hit the brakes, that's where bad things can happen. That's where you can fall off for weeks and months, because now you hadn't had that fail safe where you can just cut it off and just continue and bounce back to those healthy behaviors. So a little bit of self-sabotage, something I wanted to share with you guys. I think that a lot of our minds a lot of our decisions throughout the day that we make, completely based on rational reasoning. We don't have that rational brain that we're often proud of ourselves with, and especially when it comes to later parts of the day, we're a bit more exhausted, when things kick in, where we don't have the mental power to be more thoughtful. That's where a lot of diets fall apart. That's where a lot of exercise plans fall apart. That's where a lot of these decisions are made. So this is something I wanted to share with you guys, and I'd love to hear your feedback in the comments below on how is your experience when relating to self-sabotage. Have you noticed that sometimes you just don't do something and you kind of give yourself a weird reason for that? You know, there's no legit reason, but you kind of end up rationalizing it, and now you're looking at this and you're thinking, well, why did I just do that? So let me know in the comments below. Aside from that, everything that I mentioned here in this video, the studies will be linked in the description below for you guys that want to nerd out, that want to read more, that want to go deeper on this. So make sure to check out that description. Also make sure to hit that subscribe button below to support the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.